liminal spaces. To create somehow weirdly garages, I'm gonna need to inspire myself off those. I'm sure you heard of them. If not, how did you never heard? Anyway, we've been working on our game lately, and after doing all the basic learning of the engine, I started the PCG. It took me literally a month of my free time to make everything functional, just for the level 0 and 1. But wait, let me cook. I'm not going to do it like all the other games, where it's always the same map with no replayability, and even some do have PCG. They're just too limited when it comes to the map size. Do I really need to remember you? It clearly reads, discovered with walls that stretch over for miles. Sure, you don't want to bother making something too big because gameplay, but when you put lore accurate in your description, I'm sorry, but it's not. Even the ones that don't have that lore accurate sticker and clearly say it is not a backroom simulator, you do get some liberties and it becomes a mascot horror. Okay, do as you please, but why the hell do you have to add puzzles all the time?
Red, green.
This is a horror game.
Red.
I paid money for this.
All you get is a cheat die and retry gameplay. It just becomes boring. So, I want to promise something. I will never add puzzles where they're not supposed to be any. I understand the choice as devs made for their game. Please don't OS them. I mean, it's still a good game. It's just that they do not get up at the standards that I'm looking for. But what about the complex and liminal game? Well, those games are good, but they create each time their own universe. What about the Wicked lore? Why the hell is no one respecting the work of these great writers? They spent I do not know how much time on those great stories. Why is no one using at least 90% of their work for a game? A good game! So, I started working with the PCG, but it took like a month to make the first level, just as a reminder, and I wasn't really familiar with it at first. Plus, I'm only able to work on my free time. The problem for me at the moment is when I'm the most efficient, it's during the holidays and weekends. See, during the last week of the last holiday, I got much better at using it. So many stuff. I made all the prototypes, at least 8 levels. But of course, it does not all, and after finishing with that, I still have to code all the stuff to appear and make it look good. Like it's the first time, I tried many stuff to make it work. See, first I thought that just making a rectangle and slapping glowy material will make it work. That's what I did for level 0 after all. But, wait a sec. Why the hell can I say anything? Maybe I should enhance intensity? Oh. No, that's not it. Oh, you have to put a specific light source. Why is the light spawning, but not the light showing? Oh, the point was just that when I spawn my level instance with the pieces that I need, the pillars for example, it spawns them as a static mesh. They spawn once and can't be moved. So they don't, that is pretty good for performance. But the thing is, a map has a pretty big amount of actors, like the light, the fog, the interactable stuff, player. So, the light has to spawn as an actor. I have to find a way to spawn it with the attribute value, or what the hell this does to choose a random level instance and spawn it for each actor. Okay, I tried plenty of stuff, nothing worked. But I even used GPT. Don't. It tells you even more shit that you need to sort out after. I'm just going to go with the goofy way and just do a random choice for each variant. I'll choose that when I have more expertise PCG. Well, today I'm still not. But I learned plenty of stuff. But attributes, man. I really need to spend time on those. Well, finally, I have the first level. Wait, what the hell is those? What is that doing here? Fine, I added a structure. They spawn only in the Aquila sector and what? Why are they overlapping sector? Okay, it wouldn't be much problem, I won't put size in. After all, they're just images taken from random garage. It's not as a 100% reference of what is really in backrooms. No one has talked about anything going up or down, goes into the roof. See, whatever you want. I lost 2 weeks on those. Yes, I'm just at the beginning and real. And so what? That doesn't mean that I can't do something good. I want to make a liminal survival game, a backroom game, something that's fair to the Wicked. What's the problem? I can and I will still get better at it. This is one of the recent shots of the level. I'm getting better at it. See, I have enough pocket money just to have a Steam page, because I'm broke. Did you know that to make a Steam page, you had to spend $100? Is it to prevent any shitty game to appear? Maybe, but I'm not sure, because if that really worked, why the hell would there be something as very Hitler on Steam? Who had... Talking about the Steam page, we haven't made one yet because we need at least all the 10 first levels. Don't worry, we have at least 80% of the prototypes ready. After that, it will just make them look better and functional. Well, just functional is a pretty big amount of time, but you see what I mean. We are planning on making plenty of levels. Just have a look at this. this is all of the levels that we are planning to do for the moment. They seem really fun to make. I'm sure it's going to be something really cool to play with. Sure, it does look menacing at first, but I told you, these are the ones that are already ready, and each time I'm learning to make it better and faster and with less mistakes. For example, I think that if I should redo the level 1, it would take me maybe a week or so, because the other things that took me a lot of time was assets. Of course, because I'm broke, I can't afford to buy any tools or high quality assets yet, but it's not like I'm gonna find any scan of that one specific pillar. So I made my own. Nearly all the pillars, walls, roof, floor were modeled by me. At first, it did take me a bit of time because I wasn't familiar with Unreal at all, but I combined Blender and Unreal together. It's pretty decent. The level 0 was just poison cubes in weird shape. I mean, it wasn't that complicated. And now I'm pretty familiar with workflow. And before all the sectors, they were just like, it looked more like an old game, empty with just new textures, PBRs, that had horrible optimization. Now, after realizing that, and instead of looking at images of renders and trying to understand what made them look good, I have spent 3 entire days of my holiday trying to understand how Subliminal was making such good graphics. And then I just went to the PCG because I just couldn't understand it. It was much time on that. Again, I messed it off Terralict, a friend of mine that is working on the entity for the game. He told me that we needed to get back to the release of the demo level. He wanted us to have the first levels, so 0, 1 and 2, ready for Christmas to have at least a demo or playtest. Still not clear for the moment, but we are nearly done. Not totally, but nearly. I went back to the level graphism and I spent 2 entire days just placing assets on the level automatically PCG just to make it look good. But it was worth it because now look at this. This is so much better. I also remade the garden sector because just what the hell is this? You know, after doing some different research, so more on Blender, and I actually found some Blender talks, like 2 or 3 that were really good, because I actually didn't find anything good for Unreal. See, I knew what to do now, or kinda. I took some imperfection even after watching this hour-long video on making materials for Unreal. I didn't know much about it, but after the Blender talks, I understand so much more what I need to do. And now, finally, the game is good looking. What about the optimizations? Well, of course, you could think that I have enormous PC, but no, I have a potato PC. Maybe you already saw something much better, I don't care. I'm still learning. This is a lot for me. It's so cool. See that learning curve? That point? That is where I am now, and I'm still gonna advance. I did some research and found out that there was something called decals. A box that projects at textures on a surface. That was exactly what I was looking for. Then I couldn't access my computer. I had some problems with mine, so I needed to use another one. But the other one was actually, I don't know what the problem was. I used GIMP. Okay, I didn't really know how to use that at the time, so it took me like half an hour to make the puddles. But the ambient still isn't good enough though for a horror game. You know about PD, one of the best? I replayed it and I figured out that I was missing a key point, the sound design. Sound is one of the most important aspects of a game. It makes you question what the hell this was. And when I played at the complex, there is something that I really loved in its sound design. The blank noise and the close-up against the cam. I played with it and I'm telling you, this is not the same thing at all. One, I felt like it was pretty cool and I liked all the variations of the level, and on the other, I was wondering if I was ever gonna be able to sleep again. Guess which one had the sound? Also, the level is kinda big. Like, I removed most of the walls on level 0 because it's the same time as level 1. I walked for 16 minutes. I needed 16 minutes to arrive to the edge of the map. Well, you're not supposed to go there anyway. The problem is not that. We don't know if we should make something this big. Yeah, it's like you actually were in the backrooms, but isn't that a problem? I mean, in the stories, the one who have actually spent that much of time, it was dangerous for the sanity. Could it be for yours? Well, most likely not gonna happen because people will just get bored, or will they? But is this really a good gameplay anyway? This is something that we're not sure at all. Maybe we need to make it easier to find an exit or something? Or should we make a menu where you create a world like in Minecraft where you can actually choose and see then the difficulty or the spawn rate? For the moment, we are going towards that. If you have any ideas, could you share them? Hey, Zedisha here. I was supposed to talk about the decals and the final touches, and then about how we added sound design and how important it was, but for me it's like 1/3 of the entire game. But the problem was that we accorded that job to Terralix because it was kind of a big and he wasn't interested in doing it. But he had other stuff to do, because he's also responsible of the AI and procedural animations. And the sound isn't his priority. Okay, maybe I'm a bit harsh, but it seems that we don't have the same level of understanding of how sound design works. Maybe we do, but it looks like he doesn't see how important it is. Yet. Just has to explain that I can't show you the end of the video, because it's not ready yet. We're going to publish some kind of teaser showing the footage when it's ready. I know indie games have gotten the most interest like that, but it's so frustrating, because it's just a 10-minute video. It took me way too long to make. I'm talking 2 months. Maybe you understood it, maybe not, because it's kind of a bad video and it was supposed to be fast to make, and just to be able to have several videos to practice on them. But it was supposed to be published in November, 4 months ago. There are 2 main reasons that it took me so long. First, it was kind of the first video I did using actual editing, not as the older videos. Well, there's just one now, as you can see, because the other ones were just saying stupid stuff and I didn't want anyone to see. But just to explain that I was learning at the same time good scripting. It's still kind of bad, we're not gonna lie. At the same time as I was learning DaVinci Resolve and actual editing. So already the process was kind of slow. Second, my computer is a potato. I think I already told you, but you don't understand how bad it is. Like, when I add just a sliding effect, it takes me 1 hour or 2 just to be able to have it finished, so with the good timing and the good placement, because each time I need to render it and rechange the speed and effects of it. Without talking about how laggy the computer is, you have between 3 or 4 seconds of delay between when I click on something and drag it. Then I waited for Terralix to make the footage with the sound. Spoiler. The only thing ready are the buzzings on level 0, not even the ambient. So I advanced a lot on the other levels. Now I have much more that are ready. Just the first 4 ones I showed you before were actually way too complex for me. So I've done several other ones that you can have a look in the sneak peeks on the Discord. I don't think this is the best conditions to learn, but at least I'm learning. I'm not going to be able to do it any other way. This video was kind of a test to see if it was worth making something so complicated. I know I need to be regular about publishing, otherwise I'm never going to get better. So I'm going to do a video every 2 weeks. Like that I can work on the environment for a week and then talk about it the week after. Or maybe it's just going to be totally different kinds of video. I'll see what I'll do. But I'm going to do greater quality of the video because otherwise it's just going to be too much to handle. Like, I'm going to do the scripting and recording it, but I'm not going to make effects of it. Maybe add some footage of game there or exploring something with footage of another game. It's not going to be a very advanced video, just enough to show stuff. I hope this one wasn't as bad. You may be interested in helping us for the reviews on the Discord, so you can join us on the link below. I hope this one wasn't as bad. You may be interested in helping us with reviews on the Discord, so you can join with the link below. Just to finish, we are maybe going to do some kind of funding thing or a tippy. You'll find something in the link below maybe if we put that in place. It will help us to develop the game with buying plugins and other stuff that will be useful for the game, especially a good computer for me.